Hey everyone, Brandon Quinn here, and thanks for joining the Hexakai Daily Puzzle playthrough. Today we're going to be playing through the daily puzzle from September 2nd, and I specifically picked this puzzle because it's on a board of size 9 on easy mode, which means that it'll be a great puzzle in which to show you how the game is played, show you the rules, and some of the unique aspects of Hexakai. So I'll zoom out quickly just to show you what this board looks like. As you can see, most of the cells are filled in already. But before I jump in, if you want to give this a shot for yourself, I do have a link in the description. Alright, so let's dive in. First, I'm going to show you one of these diagonals here, which is already fully completed. As you can see here, it has values 0 through 8. None of them are repeated and none of the values are missing. So this is a board of size 9, which means that there are 9 cells in each diagonal. So that diagonal shows all of the values already. And one of the cool things about Hexakai is that you can make games of different sizes and difficulties. So unlike Sudoku, there's a lot of flexibility in the kinds of games you can create, which means that there's a huge range of difficulties in which the game can be played upon. So this one is one of the easier puzzles. It's in easy mode and it's smaller than the typical size 10. So hopefully that just gives you a high-level overview of how the game works, at least in that capacity. So next, I'm going to pick a diagonal that has everything but one thing filled in. That'll be the bottom right here. So in cases like this where everything but one value is filled in, we don't need to look at anything else in the board. We can just look at this diagonal that we're focusing on to figure out what's missing. So, remember on boards of size 9, the values of cells can be 0 through 8. So we just need to see which one of those values isn't here. And I can see that it's 4. 4 is the missing value. So now this has every value exactly once, and the diagonal is complete. Let's go ahead and see if there are any other diagonals that have exactly one cell. I can see that this one does. So let's see what's missing here. Actually, it's a 4 again. A 4 is missing, so I'll fill that in. Oh, actually, both this way and this way, it was missing exactly 1, so either way we approached it could have been fine. And just when you're playing the game, you can approach missing cells by looking at both diagonals, not just one of them. And you can also look at the row that the cell is in and use all of that information to try to figure out either the value of that cell or at least what that cell can't be. So let's see what we can do from there. There's another diagonal here that has exactly one thing missing. So let's see what's missing from this one. It's an 8, which is missing. So I'll fill that in. There's another one here that has exactly 1 missing. That'll be typical more of the easy mode boards. When you get into medium, difficult, especially ultra difficult, there will be very few situations where you just start with so many diagonals right off the bat that have everything but 1 filled in. So it's a good way to kind of dive into the game. And one thing you'll notice, I'm going through these pretty quickly, seeing which numbers are missing. That's a skill you build up just as you play this game over the course of days, weeks, and months. When you're just starting out, the easy boards also help you develop that skill to be able to do it quickly, more efficiently, more accurately. And I'm glad I just did that diagonal because now it shows another cool thing of the game. When you start filling in cells, now other diagonals and also the center row get in situations where they now have just 1 cell remaining. So in the center row, there used to be 2 missing, now there's just the 1 missing. So let's see what's missing there. That'll be an 8. Of course, we could have done it this way as well. There's always multiple ways to tackle cells. And just a note on the middle row. It's the only row that has all of the cells present, which means this is a board of size 9, so this is the only row that has 9 cells. So we can use the same strategies that we use for diagonals to figure out cells that are missing in the middle row. But every other row, since it's smaller, they're going to have values missing anyway, so it gets a little bit trickier to deal with those if you wanted to deal with them as rows. There are strategies that are, I'll say, intermediate level, which can tackle those, but we're not going to cover those in this video. For now, I want to showcase how to deal with diagonals where 2 values are missing instead of just 1. So we'll do this top right one here. So first, let's just see what's missing. 3 and 7 are missing. So Because there's 2 missing, we can't just look at this diagonal alone to see how to fill them in. We're going to have to look at intersecting diagonals. So recall one of the numbers I said is 3. Looking at this one, this can't be a 3 here because the intersecting diagonal also has a 3, which means that this one can only be a 7. And now with that filled in, we can determine that this one's a 3. And let's go ahead and knock out that one as well, the intersecting one. The missing value is a 0. So let's fill that in. Alright, we're making quick progress. We only have 4 missing cells remaining. And actually, one thing to call out, if we approached it from this direction, there's 2 cells missing in that diagonal. But we could also approach each of them from that way, in which case there's only 1 missing. So sometimes you can approach things in different angles to make them a little bit easier to solve. So let's do that right now. I'm going to solve this one first. So we can just see what value is missing here. That will be an 8. And now we could do it this way if we wanted to. So yeah, let's do that. That'll be a 7. Okay. Only 2 remaining, and then we can see if we got the right answer. This will be a 5. And last but not least, this diagonal will be a 0. So let's zoom out a bit just to make sure that we're not missing any cells or not. Alright, let's go ahead and submit it and see if we got the right answer. Yep, so there we have it. We have the correct answer in just a couple of minutes. One of the good things about the easy boards is that it lets you dive into the game, learn some of the skill sets, and it doesn't take too much time out of your day to solve them. I can say the same thing applies for the medium boards as well. Once you start building up the skill sets, you can go into the medium boards, and those don't take more than a couple of minutes generally, unless you start getting to the larger board sizes. But for now, we've solved the puzzle. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe and consider checking out my Hexakai book, which has 150 puzzles, as well as a chapter on strategies and a chapter on some of the math that goes into the game. Also be sure to check out the website itself, hexakai.com, where you can generate a board of your own from any difficulty and any board size, as well as check out some of the daily puzzles, either today's puzzle or any puzzle in the past. The games are free to play, and you can play them on the browser, or you can also get the Android or iOS apps and play them on your phone as well. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time.